The European Union faces a deepening energy crisis, one that took a dramatic turn on January 1st, 2025, when Ukraine terminated its gas transit agreement with Russia. This move effectively halted the flow of Russian natural gas through Ukraine to Europe, marking the end of a decades-long arrangement that had been the backbone of European energy markets. The immediate impact? Energy prices soared across the continent, leaving governments, industries, and households grappling with financial pressures that intensified an already challenging economic landscape. Natural gas prices spiked to record highs, driving electricity costs upward and straining household budgets. According to a report by The Guardian, average energy bills in Germany rose by 30% within a month, a severe blow to consumers. For industries, particularly those heavily reliant on energy, like steel, chemicals, and manufacturing, the crisis has created cascading consequences. Inflation has surged across the Eurozone, climbing to an annual rate of 7.3% as of January 2025, further complicating policy responses. Neighboring countries like Poland and the Czech Republic have also reported double-digit energy cost increases, amplifying the region's economic strain. As the largest economy in the EU, Germany has been hit especially hard by the energy crisis. Historically, Germany relied on affordable Russian natural gas to power its industries and heat its homes. This dependency now poses a significant challenge as the nation scrambles to find alternative energy sources. While Germany has invested heavily in renewable energy infrastructure, setbacks have hampered progress. A report from Der Spiegel highlights that low wind levels and limited sunlight during the winter months have reduced renewable energy output by 18% compared to the previous year. The widespread repercussions on the economy are unmistakable. Manufacturing output, a key pillar of Germany's economic strength, has declined by 6.7% in the past quarter alone. Major automakers like Volkswagen have announced production cuts, citing energy shortages and rising costs. The German government has introduced subsidies to shield consumers from the brunt of energy price hikes, but these measures have added to fiscal pressures. Additionally, reports from Handelsblatt emphasize that the chemical sector, one of Germany's largest industries, has been forced to reduce output, impacting global supply chains for essential products like fertilizers and plastics. Everyday households are also feeling the strain. In Berlin, local bakeries have raised prices by 20% due to higher energy and ingredient costs, while families in rural areas report cutting back on heating to manage their budgets. Such stories highlight the tangible impacts of the crisis on daily life. The economic turmoil has created fertile ground for political upheaval. The far-right alternative for Germany, AfD party, has gained momentum by advocating policies that resonate with a frustrated populace. Their platform includes exiting the EU, abandoning the euro, and reestablishing trade ties with Russia, a stance that has drawn both support and sharp criticism. The AfD's rise is reflected in recent polls, which show the party commanding 23% of voter support, a significant increase from the 12% they garnered in the 2021 federal elections. Party leader Alice Weidel has capitalized on the energy crisis, framing the AfD as the only political force capable of delivering practical solutions. During a December 2024 rally in Saxony, Weidel declared, "Germany must reclaim its sovereignty and secure affordable energy for its people." Meanwhile, Chancellor Olaf Scholz's coalition government, already strained by internal disputes over fiscal and energy policies, has struggled to present a unified front, deepening voter disillusionment. If the AfD's vision were to materialize, the implications for Germany and the EU would be monumental. Germany's departure from the EU, often referred to as Dexit, would unravel decades of economic integration. Economists at the European Economic Institute estimate that exiting the EU could shrink Germany's GDP by 8%, equating to a loss of 320 billion euros annually. The EU, in turn, would face a 10% contraction in its overall GDP. The Eurozone would also be destabilized. Germany's role as a guarantor of financial stability has been pivotal, and its exit could trigger a crisis of confidence in the common currency. The Financial Times warns that investor uncertainty could lead to capital flight, driving up borrowing costs for remaining member states. Furthermore, countries like France and Italy, which rely heavily on German trade, would face significant economic disruptions, potentially leading to higher unemployment and slower growth across the bloc. Germany's industrial sector has long been the cornerstone of its economy, contributing over 22% to GDP. However, this foundation is showing cracks. The Mittelstand, a network of small and medium-sized enterprises that forms the backbone of German industry, has been particularly vulnerable. In 2024 alone, over 4,200 company insolvencies were recorded, the highest figure since the 2008 financial crisis, according to Handelsblatt. This trend has had a cascading effect, with nearly 38,000 jobs lost in sectors ranging from manufacturing to logistics. Volkswagen, a bellwether for Germany's industrial health, announced plans in late 2024 to shutter 2 plants and lay off 15,000 workers. CEO Oliver Blume admitted, "We are navigating unprecedented challenges that require difficult decisions." Similarly, BASF, a global chemical giant, has scaled back operations at its Ludwigshafen site, citing unsustainable energy costs. The AfD's economic proposals, encapsulated in their Blue Deal, promise sweeping reforms. These include slashing corporate tax rates from 15% to 10%, abolishing trade taxes, and reducing VAT from 19% to 15%. The party claims these measures will boost GDP by 6% within 3 years. However, critics argue that the proposals lack fiscal sustainability. A report by Die Welt estimates that the tax cuts would create a €240 billion shortfall in public revenues, raising questions about funding for infrastructure and social services. The AfD's stance on immigration further complicates the picture. Their proposed remigration policy aims to reduce the immigrant workforce, a move that could exacerbate labor shortages in key industries like healthcare and construction. The German Chamber of Commerce and Industry warns that such policies could shrink the labor force by 5%, further hampering economic recovery. The AfD also proposes repairing the Nord Stream pipelines and resuming natural gas imports from Russia. This would mark a dramatic shift in Germany's foreign policy, effectively ending sanctions on Russia. Proponents argue that this move would stabilize energy prices, but detractors warn of geopolitical risks. The Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung cautions that such a policy could isolate Germany within the EU, weakening its alliances. Beyond Europe, global players like China and the BRICS nations are closely monitoring these developments. A recalibration of Germany's energy policy could influence trade relations, with potential opportunities for Chinese investment in renewable energy projects. At the same time, BRICS nations might leverage Germany's weakened position to strengthen their economic alliances. To mitigate the energy crisis, Germany and the EU have several options. Investments in LNG terminals to diversify natural gas sources are already underway, with Norway and Qatar emerging as key partners. Accelerating energy efficiency measures, such as retrofitting buildings and expanding public transportation, could also reduce dependence on volatile energy imports. According to Bloomberg, such initiatives could save the EU up to €50 billion annually in energy costs by 2030. Adding to the complexity is the impending inauguration of Donald Trump as U.S. president. Known for his nationalist policies and skepticism toward multilateral alliances, Trump's administration could embolden movements like the AfD. Analysts at The Economist suggest that a realignment in U.S. foreign policy might weaken European unity, making it harder for Germany to rally support within the EU. Trump's potential rapprochement with Russia could also shift the geopolitical landscape, indirectly bolstering the AfD's argument for reestablishing ties with Moscow. Germany's political future is intertwined with global dynamics, says Dr. Klaus Zimmermann, an economist at Bonn University. How it navigates these pressures will shape not just its trajectory, but also that of Europe. Germany and the EU stand at a crossroads. The decisions made in the coming months will have lasting consequences, not only for Europe but for the global order. The energy crisis has exposed vulnerabilities that demand immediate and strategic action. At the same time, political shifts within Germany highlight deep divisions over the nation's path forward. As we approach Germany's February 2025 elections, one question looms large. Can Europe's strongest economy regain its footing? Or will it pivot in a direction that reshapes its role on the world stage? Share your thoughts in the comments. Should Germany prioritize renewable energy? Or is reestablishing ties with Russia a more pragmatic choice? The answers will depend on the interplay of domestic policies, international alliances, and the resilience of its people. We're glad you're enjoying this video. Please like and subscribe. Check out another video that is now on your screen.